My name is Sebastian. I'm the founder and the CEO of TakeTask. Um, uh, we are a group of two serial entrepreneurs. I founded ABR Sesta when I was a student 25 years ago, and it's still operating. It's a self-sufficient company. I'm just the owner, actually working on exiting the company, profitable, growing. I also introduced Subway restaurants to Poland, first restaurant in Poland where I was the first franchisee. Marek has great competence mostly in telecommunication and IT. He was a CTO also in a software house, so he is my right hand in terms of technology. I'm more a business, legal, and financial guy. So the problem we decided to work on is lack of good communication and task execution mechanism in companies with dispersed labor force. So managers, they send tasks, and the employees get the task in many different formats, and they do not have good ways to communicate back the feedback or get access to guidelines. So what we did is a task management app, which is very, very simple. It allows you to get this quality assurance in a second. So the managers can very quickly create a new process in our system, and employees get the tasks which are personalized, prioritized. It's a no-code platform. So, and it's a really no-code. It's not a low-code, but it's a no-code platform. So we just implemented our system to Drogeria Natura, and the training of administrators took 3 hours. And after 3 hours, they already started to work with the system, deploy the task to the whole 300 plus retail chain. And then they could execute the tasks in the field in real time. So the drag and drop task editor is this simplifying element of our system. But it's also a lot of personalization and dynamic content within the tasks. So because retailers and other companies with desk workers, they work in very different environments. The whole environment can change in one night when you get a COVID pandemic or when you get the attack from Russia to Ukraine. Of course, the whole notification toolkit with push email. We also have our own SMS and voice bot system. Here are some screens of our app to see that it's very elegant. Of course, each client, we now concentrate on enterprise client, get their white label so they can change the colors and logos, etc. These are some technologies. For example, this is AI-based price monitoring, where in something like 2-3 seconds you get the scanning of prices. We have a global contract with Shell, for example, for this particular thing. And these are some notes, so you can make some notes on your smartphone. We also have some feedback mechanism, like here you have a board which you can, it's a kind of a touch screen where you see all the tasks which are related to your location, for example, a store or some other factory. And here you have a dashboard with different KPIs related to your particular store, so you can work on the KPIs and then work on the task you're supposed to do. So it's all in one place in a very simple way. There are two main types of companies we address our system. The first one is enterprise. We started with enterprise. We have almost 20 clients in this plan. The average monthly fee is about 4,000 euros. But there are smaller tickets and bigger tickets. It's a kind of a managed SaaS. The implementation takes about 2-3 weeks. And it's on the private Azure cloud of the client. And it's both directly sold and with the Microsoft Marketplace. And we just launched our full SaaS for SMBs. It's on our application, which is called TakeTask. We have first clients, and there are also 3 plans, but the price includes the Azure clause, and for now it's about 200 euros, so much smaller tickets, but the process of implementing the client, it takes from our side about 2-3 hours. So it takes in total 1 or 2 days for the client to be onboarded with their own processes. So they get their own processes in the system. There are two channels of sales. The direct channel, this is mostly me and my project manager. So I'm the business development guy because we are mostly a tech company now. We want to get to some threshold and scale with funds from investors. And then we will build the whole sales channel, etc. But we also work with different partners, like we are a top Polish ISV for Microsoft with all the incentives, etc. But also working with big and small consultancies, telecommunication providers, etc. They simply sell our system. When the COVID struck, we launched the COVID quarantine monitoring system just in 2 days. There are almost over 11 million user accounts, so you can imagine the capacity of the system where you have hundreds of thousands of tasks done daily in the system. But on the other hand, you have a system that you can launch very, very quickly. We also, with our voice bot and SMS bot systems, we registered over 1 million people for vaccination for COVID. We sent hundreds of millions of SMSs to Polish citizens with this information. This is how our revenue looks like. As you see, for some time, we had a flattening of the MRR here because I was involved for over 6 months with fundraising, and I did not succeed. Honestly, we just had some bridge round and some accelerator. But as I'm the only salesperson, the sales did not grow very significantly. Now, for the last half year, I'm working on sales, and we now have new clients on board in the system. The most important things in our technology: fast setup, as I already mentioned, remote deployment. We now, for example, do tests in Philippines for Shell. Fast implementation, so the training, as I said, with Natura, it was only 3 hours, but usually it's about 5 to 6 hours. Very simple graphical user interface. So you do not need to train the deskless worker. They just get the app, they get the processes, and they start to work right away. And it's multilingual, based on scalable Microsoft technologies. The market is big, and most of the investment went to went to software, not for deskless workers, but for office workers, like Teams, etc., the venture capital. But the deskless workforce is 80% of the capital. So we see that now it's on the rise. There are many competitors already. It's not that it's space without competitors, but the market is very, very big, and it will grow significantly. It will grow faster. The collaboration software market for the deskless workers will grow faster than for the office workers. There are different types of competitors. We have certain advantages over them. I can answer the questions later about the advantages, of course, but we combine certain features of a no-code platform, enterprise, and full SaaS. This is our simple roadmap. What would we achieve where we are now? We are now launching a full telecommunication platform as part of the development of our SMS voice bot system, which we are now in talks with some telecom operators. We will combine this technology with the last slide, with our task managed application to have a whole suite of communication, both in a structured way, like with task, and non-structured, like what. And we'll probably go for an A round when we'll be about 100K MRR, which will probably end of this year, beginning of next year. But of course, if we can find funding earlier, we are happy to talk about it. That's it. Thank you very much.
One last round.
Thanks. Can I start now? Okay. Yeah, first of all, I think it is a great page. So
thank you.
I don't want to, rate all of them, but it itself was understandable and easy to follow. One question about your clients. Actually, one remark. Sorry. Good thing that you were really honest about doing the fundraising and not having enough time for sales and building the company.
Yeah, yeah.
Probably you learn from it.
You learn from mistakes.
Yeah.
But I want to be honest. I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not. You know.
I mean, it's just one remark that is you were honest about it. Of course, you know it's not the right move probably for next time. So about your typical client, I saw Ocean there as a hypermarket and a few other logos. So who is actually who is the best fit for your product?
We are process and industry agnostic. But you know, in terms of sales, it's always easier to go to a certain industry. So we started with retailers. Mostly groceries, you know, food retailers, drugstores, this kind of stuff. You know? But we also have like Cross, which is a bicycle retailer. We have some companies, but now the SMBs, they are making some installations, like some equipment, so they have these protocols of. So you know, from our perspective, it's. You know, when you have a process which is done on a piece of paper, you can just digitize in 15 minutes, half an hour, and it's digitized. Yeah? If you have, let's say, we are now testing with some food processing companies. It took me 2 15 minutes conf calls, video calls with quality assurance manager, and we built. And the next call, we tested and I showed him the results of his, controls on, and he said, "Yeah, that's great." Yeah. So in 15 minutes, I digitized his process. Yeah. So we digitize, for example, HCCP-A, quality control and food safety standards for Shell in just one day. So they had everything in 20 processes on piece of paper, and after one day, everything was digitized with the app. But they already had the app, of course. They were doing the scanning of prices. They were doing merchandising checks, promo readiness, etc., etc. So we just added, a few more tasks that were just appearing, popping up. Okay, now you have to check the temperature. Now you have to check this, and etc., etc.
Do you think the world needs another Trello or another Asana?
Okay, so it's not Trello and not Asana. Trello and Asana is for office workers. Yeah? We are concentrating on deskless workers. So for this 80% of the deskless workforce, in comparison to 20% of office workers. Yeah? So it's designed as an app for people that do not work in front of a computer, that they have a process, and you want this process to be executed evenly all over the country, in different places. Yeah? So you want to build a process very meticulously. Yeah? And you want to test it and then deploy it and have feedback how it went.
So you're focusing more on manual workers, I would say.
Exactly. Yeah?
Maybe one last question, if you want to.
No, it's okay.
Oh, perfect. Thank you very much, and round of applause. Good. So guys, that was another round of very interesting scale-ups. Now it's time again to change the scenery a bit, and